last time. If this doesn't work, we're not doing it. This is terrible. Terrible. I don't know about any of you, but this is becoming ridiculous already. Let's see. Let's see how well this turns out now. So we're going to wait and see if Vivitha can join us again. Hopefully this time it'll actually allow her to join. Yeah, if this doesn't work, then Vivitha and I have both agreed that we're not going to be doing this interview. Because both of us believe in divine timing and whether or not Spirit actually wants us to do this. So, yeah, it completely cuts off. Every time I try to go live through Zoom, it cuts out. It won't do it. Every time I try to add Vivitha on this today, it's totally terrible. Totally terrible. So we're going to wait and see, and hopefully we can add Vivitha. I'm just going to wait for her to comment. There she is. Let's see. We're going to have to wait and see. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. Let's see. Yay! That was so terrible. Like, I can't even believe how terrible that was. Every time I added you, it would just completely die.
Oh my God. And each time I try to accept, it will cut off on my end.
Yeah, well, cutting off on, that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay, so let's start. This might be a short interview just because we took half an hour trying to get it off the ground. And I'm sure Vivitha, because it's 11:30 there.
Yes, 11:30.
11:30 a.m. Tuesday morning where Vivitha is. And yeah, I'm sure you've got appointments and lunch that you'd like to get to at 12. So, let's get this going. And so if anybody just joining, Melissa Krechler for Melissa's Monday Madness. My guest today is Vivitha Naidu. And I hope I said that right.
Yes, Vivitha Naidu.
Very good. And she is a metaphysical medium as well as a soul transitionist. Now, I'm going to get her to tell you what that is while I go share the video now that we're finally, going.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Vivitha, and I'm from the Magnetic Soul. So I'm a metaphysical medium where I help people clear their soul contracts, clear their karmic baggages, and connect them to their divine self. So what I do is heaven and earth connections. And as a soul transitionist, I actually niched in this. I didn't do a broad, even though I could, but I help women, mothers, and their partners find healing through grief healing mediumship when they have lost their infants through abortion, whether is it medically induced or whether it's your choice, miscarriages, SIDS, that is sudden infant death syndrome, and illnesses.
So if nobody got that clearly, and I think this is amazing, and I was very excited to talk to you about this, is that what Vivitha does is she actually helps grieving parents transition the loss of their child.
Yes.
That is so needed. I think that is wonderful. And she specifically does that. You don't offer your mediumship to anybody else, right? It's specifically just couples who have lost a child.
Yes, I don't do for their fathers who have passed on or anything, but I have an exception for young children who have passed on, very
Yeah.
young, like 3 years old, 4 years old, out of cancer. That is my exception because they're still close to spirit.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Now, what made you decide to only offer it to those those parents, those grieving guardians and parents? Why only them?
All right. So my background is I'm an operation theater nurse, and while I was working in operation theater, I have to assist in cesareans and also have to assist in miscarriages and abortions. You can't have a moral stance when you're working. So what I felt was whenever they aborted the babies, I could feel the baby spirit around me. And it was like massive because you work in a hospital. And at one point, I could feel 50 of them. And they were all around, and even someone like the cleaner who's not spiritually sensitive heard the baby crying when there was no baby. And I could see the baby. So, and I felt that they were lost. They didn't know what was happening to them. This might sound controversial. So some people believe that when you do it, when you die, you straight away go to heaven, but not in traumatic cases, not in cases when they don't know that they're going to die, so they're not prepared for that. Like if you're sick, you're prepared, you know you're going to die, but the babies are not prepared. They're prepared to be born. So they're not sure why they got cut off halfway. So what they do is they start hanging around here. And some mothers, one during my exam, actually, mediumship, I had one where the baby was aborted 22 years ago, and the eldest child was feeling the baby in the house, and it was wrecking up the mother's emotional being. And she was depressed, and I really do feel this also is a contribution to depression in women. And our society, which doesn't allow women to talk about it, is still very much a taboo, and it's an over-medicated society. We take Prozac for everything. We medicate ourselves. And when he came to me with that 22-year-old infant, and when I managed to send it over, he felt an immense lightness in his being. But I never got back to him whether his mother was all right. But I felt that this is one of the key points of healing a woman.
Very nice. That's amazing. One of our followers, Lee, says, as a parent of a SIDS child, that is an incredibly beautiful gift, and it definitely is. For me, I've had 2 abortions and a miscarriage, and it was definitely traumatizing. All 3 experiences were very traumatizing for me. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I was able to really identify just how traumatizing it was for me and start to release that
So,
pain, right? Um, so yes, it's definitely a beautiful. I didn't hear that. Sorry.
sorry to hear about your experience, Melissa.
You know what? No, no sorry necessary. All of it happened for a reason. All of it happened for divine timing, and we made those decisions based on where we were at that point. And to live in regret or live in trauma going forward is, for me, is pointless, because I've learned the lessons. After my last abortion, I got fixed so that it would never happen again. um, so I made sure that I didn't ever take that chance again. But it's definitely nice to have like have somebody like you who specifically and only deals with that, and for you to create that based on your own need and based on what you were feeling, and in that presence that you were in is very transformational, and I absolutely love that. So I commend you for doing that. My mediumship, I refuse to do. I don't offer it to anybody. Unless, of course, Spirit decides that, you know, it's time for me to start telling people their stories, but not for me. So, how do people get a hold of you if they're looking for your assistance in helping with the loss of a child?
They can either email me through my website, that is www.themagneticsoul.com, or they can find me on Facebook, which is my page. It's under the Magnetic Soul, but my profile is Vivitha, Metaphysical Medium, and Soul Transitionist.
Very nice. When we're done the video, because like I said, we'll probably shorten the video tonight just because it took us so long to get on. But what we'll do is, if you want to share your page, share, like if you have a Facebook group or your website, you can do that straight on this page. I have no problem with that. Also, the magneticsoul.com is on my website under Melissa's Monday Madness. All of Vivitha's information is there as well. So let's talk about your metaphysical mediumship and how you get into that. What is it that you are looking for in your clients to help sharpen their lives and their destinies? What are your clients? What are your ideal clients?
So my ideal clients are committed clients. That's all. So you don't need to be high vibe. You don't need to have much knowledge either regarding metaphysical things. But what I need is for you to be committed to your journey. And what I mean by committed is you're willing to learn your lessons, go through your lessons, and ask for support when you need to. And that's being committed, not in denial, not running away, and not going into addictive mental or emotional loops. So for instance, when I change a soul contract, if you're having difficulty getting what you want, like, for example, I have a client who was trying to get a university grant for her PhD, but she had some emotional issues. I won't say problems, everybody has problems. Emotional setbacks and challenges. She was comfort eating, and that was contributing to her sadness. So what I do is I'll change that soul contract using the laws of karma, the divinities, as much as possible. Sometimes it's not granted fully. And then I'll work on your practical issues. And how do you want to reduce comfort eating? And it has been quite successful for her. And I have people who are difficult relationships with their bosses. They need to change their career, but this career is quite a cushy, quite a 5-figure, quite a comfortable career. They don't quite want to leave, but they just can't stand their bosses. When we clear the contracts, we come back to neutral between you and the person. So whatever whether you believe it in our past lives and your present lives, we clear all that contract and you come back to neutral. So you're like seeing this person for the first time again, and you begin from there. But of course, don't create more karma once we clear it. Try to be in your power and, try to stand in your integrity. That's the most important. Never feed in fear, but stand into your integrity. The moment you're going to fear, just come back to your integrity.
Absolutely. So that's awesome. I really enjoyed that. I'm just looking over what we talked about in our last one.
Hi, Dee. Hi, Peggy. Hi, Tiffany. I'm sorry to hear about your sudden infant death syndrome, but I will just touch about the difference. As I said again, please keep an open mind regarding this. When you have a miscarriage, usually the baby has chosen this soul contract. And to clear the child's karma quicker, they choose to be aborted. Second, your body is not strong enough to hold the baby. You see, there's an intelligence between mother and child. It has to be a two-way thing, pregnancy. If you're not mentally ready, the baby knows. And the baby will be misaborted. because it knows that you're not ready to come into this contract with this baby to look after. Sounding very controversial, please keep with me. So the baby will choose to be aborted, but your baby spirit will be around you. They stay in your auric field. Okay, over here, this is your auric field, they stay here. So you can always feel their presence close by. And when you're ready, in instance, you plan to have another child, that spirit may come back or may not come back. Sometimes it comes back to your children's children. So do not worry that it has disappeared or the miscarriage is your fault. Thirdly, from a medical point of view, when the fetus is not healthy and has a lot of defects, your body will induce it to have that missed abortion. So I've given you 3 perspectives and feel into it. I know religion is very strong in our lives, but let's take a step back and put this and feel how you feel into it regarding miscarriages. And sudden infant death syndrome is nearly the same. The baby has finished the contract. It wants to go off the spirit, because you see, each lifetime you clear your karmic contracts, and what happens is it becomes lighter your next life. So if it's nothing your fault, you didn't suffocate the baby or anything, take it as the child's contract that they have chosen. All of us choose our family and contracts before we are born. I hope that's some words of comfort to you. So it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault, really. So you just clear the trauma, heal the trauma, and move forward in your life.
My followers like controversy because I'm very controversial myself. So they enjoy that. Majority of them do believe in past lives and do believe in karmic relationships, and those are things that I've talked about as well. So it's nice to have somebody else again reiterate those points and give a different perspective. If any of you don't know, Vivitha's in Malaysia. Are you still in Malaysia?
Yes, I'm living here. I'm born here.
Very nice. So across the world, and she still has, that's got to say something about spirit for the amount of people who have similar thought processes, who like to discuss similar things and have different controversies. I love being controversial. I think it's great. I'm controversial all the time. So yeah, it's definitely nice. So Lee's commenting again. My daughter came to me in a dream the night before her burial. I have understood that concept ever since. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Lee is very intuitive as well. She's one of my clients. So
welcome, Peggy.
Yes, yeah, so Peggy had a marriage as well.
I know it's a bit because, as I said, religion is so ingrained in our society, and I have to be usually a bit soft in putting these ideas forward, because when we put it out, suddenly it's like a drawback. So I'm glad that your audience are quite pretty as receptive to this.
Absolutely, they are. Me being a psychic intuitive coach, and some of them I schooled with, some of them have been following me since day one. So they get to see all my tips and tricks and different perspectives. So it's very good. Do you have anything going on that you'd like to share with the viewers? Anything that you want to promote or talk about that you've got coming up with the Magnetic Soul? Feel free to promote that and let them know.
All right. So currently, Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto is in retrograde. So this is a great time if you want to change your contracts regarding your higher vision, your career, your shadow self, and really setting a legacy in your life. So if you're having a very difficult relationship with either in your career, your relationship, your businesses, do contact me. And people you can read my reviews on my page. I will share it there. You can feel immediate change within the next day if it's fully granted, because I'm able to tell you if the contract is fully clear. And second, I do really like to start working on grief healing mediumship. I'm restructuring it and putting it, consolidating it a bit tighter to 3 weeks instead of 4 weeks. So it's like 21 days, and I welcome you to contact me regarding that and experience it. And what is lovely about it is I'm not asking you to forget about your child, but I'm asking you to send your spirit to heaven. It takes to the light. I know some people don't like the word heaven. 30 days, the spirit needs to heal. Once the spirit is healed, it can come back to you fully energized. Because when it's not healed, it'll start taking the energy of your family. And that's when you feel something's not right, you feel low energy, and it's not nobody's fault once again. It just needs healing. And you'll always have that memory. Remember, the soul can never die.
I love that. I love it. So I did have a quick question. So over the last week, I've been having quite a bit of stuff going on. I've had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of changes with my business, a lot of really in-depth growth with myself and my business. And when did all of those go into retrograde?
All right. So we are having Jupiter is going off at July. Let me just get to my calendar. Even though I have such good memory, I can't remember some dates.
He absolutely does, Lee. Audrey, if you're just joining, she is a soul transitionist. She helps grieving parents with the loss of their children and transitions the soul back to spirit so that it can heal and come back to you. So retrograde, you said they're all three are in retrograde so far?
Yes, and we have Chiron in Aries at the moment, so it's a bit tense. So it's a bit hard before it will move out to, in 2019, back to Pisces for the next 30 years. So right now, Jupiter is in retrograde until July 10th. For those over that side, in Asia, it will be July 11th. Always add one day after, because we are faster. So it's July 10th. Jupiter is in retrograde, and then we have where did I keep this? Saturn is in retrograde until 6th September, and Pluto is in retrograde until 30th September. So we have quite a good long period to work on our shadow self, on our creating. Think of your career in this time of creating legacy. No more short-term things. We are thinking of Saturn in Capricorn. We are going for legacy. We are going when you pass away from this world, when you pass on, are you happy with your legacy? What have you left behind? What is your soul imprint? Go for that. It is gold at this moment. Do not fear retrogrades. They are the best times to work with. Once you make it, you will love it.
I made an effort today. So I've been trying to build my business, and I really, over the last 2 weeks, really identified who my ideal clients are and how I want to work with them. In a couple days, I had an entire 7-week program detailed out. I had it recorded, everything, like it was done. And today I said, okay, well, how can I get in front of my ideal clients? I've been on Facebook, I've been on LinkedIn, Instagram, all over these places. And today I made a phone call to my local Chamber of Commerce, and I'm now their guest speaker June 6th. So yeah, things are just flowing, and I've decided only to take 6 clients at a time for my coaching, and I have no doubt by the end of the month that's going to be filled. So if anybody's interested in mindset coaching, if you think you have the ideal life but aren't happy and you're struggling with that unhappiness, you might want to take a look at the video I shared this morning.
Congratulations, Melissa. That's wonderful.
Oh, I got off the phone and I was laughing, and I'm like, yay. No, super excited. So we're going to let you go. Audrey, I am going to post her information. Audrey lost a child, so she might be contacting you very soon. Your information will be posted. It's on my website as well. And we'll make sure all of those links are available to you. Vivitha, if you want to share all of your stuff onto this video or onto my page, please feel free. And I should be able to tag Audrey in it as long as she's visible on my tags. So much love. Thank you so much, Vivitha. I really appreciated you coming on. I'm so sorry for the dramatic 30-minute interval of trying to get live.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Melissa.
Yeah.
I was just keeping it like, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen for this one last try, and it did. So I'm glad. Patience pays off.
It absolutely does. All right. Well, you guys all have a wonderful evening. If you have any questions for me or Vivitha, make sure that you post them on this video. We are both going to be tagged in this video, so make sure that you ask your questions, and we will share all of the content soon. Much love, guys. Have an amazing evening. Vivitha, I will talk to you later. Good night, everybody. And good day to you. Bye.